Actually, if somebody looks at you now, they will not tell that you have worked from morning 8:45 to 7:30 and you're sitting. Nobody will tell that.
Yes, I love this work. I love my work actually. I'm lucky in that way that all through my life, I have worked in whatever I love. You know, it was just by chance that my husband didn't allow me to grow in my previous jobs. You know, otherwise
I can understand. I can understand.
I was interested in data analysis. That is what I was. So, you know, data analysis, that field requires a lot of training all the time. And
right.
Just didn't understand that I needed some training. If I invest from my own pocket, then it will be huge. If the office invest in that, it is nothing. Just I have to invest my time. He didn't understand that. And I don't know.
Your ambition levels were totally different. But your ambition level was at 90 and his ambition level was at 30. So that was not matching actually. Honestly.
So he was a person actually of huge talent, you know. He was the assistant director in Shah Rukh Khan's initial series, Fauji and Karna.
Okay.
He worked with very famous actors like Nandita Das and all.
Right.
So a person of that caliber, and he was a Delhi, he was a student in JNU, and you can't understand, no, you can't justify, can't understand at all as to why he had become like that. Anyways.
Correct.
So let us go through this. So initially, I was actually only addressing people who were mid-career professionals, you know.
Right.
Mid-career professionals who were between 30 to 45 years of age, or they had 5 to 12 years of experience. So what's happening is nowadays people get very early into jobs. Now, by the time they are 23, they are into jobs. So by the time they are 30, they are already 6-7 years of experience. So exactly. That is why I kept that open. Whoever has 5 to 12 years of experience, they are bound to have this kind of trouble.
Right.
So, but that was actually broadening my audience. And the trick is to narrow down your audience. Right. In online space. You know, you have to be a very narrow audience you should start with.
Right.
Afterwards, people can be of anything. So, that was the mistake I was having. And also, I was not talking about my personal issues into this. I was thinking that the part of the other thing, no, how I grew as a professional, that part I was talking. But I was not talking about my personal issues, which I spoke to you today. Because this is just 15 days back, my mentors gave me this insight that you were not talking about your lowest low.
Right.
So you need to talk that. So that is why I have changed this into past setbacks. Good. Otherwise, I was talking about productivity only.
Right. That's what you told me on the WhatsApp. Productivity. Correct.
Yeah. So in any case, they have to focus on productivity to get over their trauma. Otherwise, the focus will not come. And productivity means you have to fully into your job, whatever task you are doing. And because I had the fortune of working in wherever I wanted to work, it might not have happened to other people. People might not be loving their job. But again, I also teach them how to love your job. Because when, even if I am working in a job which I love, still there are aspects of the job which I don't like. Exactly. But still I do because that is required, you know, to do what you love. So 100% of the things that you do, as you were saying, no, maybe you don't like 70% of whatever you are doing. But if you like the 30% of it, enjoy.
Enjoy.
You have to love these rest 70%.
Enjoy that. Correct.
So, as I said, my gratitude to you. And to take 90 minutes for this entire thing to complete.
Yeah.
This is what I tell Ravi. That is why it is there. And don't take digital notes. Save questions to the end so that there will be no break of flow. And thank you for your patience because it will take 90 minutes. And if you have something else to do in between, if you have to go, then please that is what I need to see.
Correct.
I promise you of the best value to the best of my ability so that you can justify your time and of course your time will be well spent.
Exactly.
Thank you again. And who do I target?
Right.
I am not targeting those people who are inside their comfort zone.
Exactly.
Targeting people who have felt this blazing fire inside them.
Right.
And because of this, when they find this kind of problems in their setbacks, challenges in their life, and because of which they might also have relationship issues with the boss, with the family, with friends, in the society, anywhere. And somebody would have told them something which is not them.
Exactly.
And they have become a rebel. And because of that anger, that is a grief, there is a grievance. They are blazing further. And that is indicative of their potential. Because they know inside they are not a limited self. They know they can do much more. I am targeting those people.
Right.
So how do I know that? I know because of my story, as I told.
Correct.
Recognized, ignored, overworked, but not given the due, and it hurts. Willing to take risk. I'm still willing to take risk. Can work harder if you give me a better responsibility, better charge, whatever, challenge, provided there is a reward. Without this reward, so I will go on doing and doing, but I will not know whether I'm doing okay or useful or anything. So that is an experience all throughout. Even today morning also I spoke to somebody. I told them my topic, my tool, Resourceful Influencing has now figured in the first page when you Google. No, that is a huge achievement. People struggle for even 2 months back, I was looking at my Google page. Resourceful Influencing is my tool. It was in the 50th page. So I was thinking, कब आएगा ये पहले page में? And suddenly day before yesterday, I tried and it was in the first page. You can imagine how happy I was. But when I speak about this to people, they cannot figure out what I am talking about. So I realize that फालतू लोगों के बीच आ गए यार. You have to move on. So one needs to do something for that. If you are angry at this position, at this point, you will not move. The universe will not allow you to get from here because with this anger, this negativity, you will carry this negativity to another place, a better place. If you are negative, if you don't appreciate yourself, you cannot respect the appreciation of others also.
True.
So that is why I'm not motivated. What now? Maybe another reason. So why we get into that kind of loop? Why? Because we think, and most of us think, that success is a straight line upward. It is not. We get into, if we have potential, we normally get into frequent failures. Because potential always will push you to do something new, something very different. It is a characteristic of high potential people. And that makes them fail 90% of the time. Which means what? they will go back in the spiral and move some few feet backwards, and then again they push forward and come. And this will happen multiple times in their life, and this is a graph by CEO LinkedIn. It is his observation. He is looking at working professional. LinkedIn mostly have working professional and how they progress forward. So this is his observation that it is never a straight line. It has to be in loops, and there is nothing to be ashamed about these values. So, and suddenly at one point when you realize that these are part of your life, because you are different, because you are trying to do something very different, you are not usually conforming to other people. So that is why these values are inevitable. Even आपका boss नहीं समझा आपको, that also is a failure. He will not give you a promotion. आप stuck हो जाओगे. You will have thousands of complaints. बहुत negativity हो जाएगा. But again, that is part of your package.
Yeah.
So that is how. But we need to realize this. To start with, we need to realize this. So, हो सकता है, maybe you were laid off because of this, because you didn't understand. हो सकता है. What is the reason which has made you stuck? सोचो. Something you are holding yourself accountable, maybe. And this may be affecting your productivity. Maybe you are giving a chance for others to criticize you. दूसरा कैसे criticize करेगा if you are not giving a chance? But it takes a lot of time to realize कि we are giving only the opportunity to them to criticize us. Criticize तो कोई भी किसी को कर सकता है ना. आप रास्ते में चलोगे, somebody will tell you something. आपको अच्छा नहीं लगे. But how can you help that? लोग तो बोलेंगे. And makes you look for another job. Maybe if you are in a job, then ये सारा चीज जब हो रहा है, you are thinking कि हम दूसरे जॉब में चले जाएंगे तो ये सब नहीं होगा. But it is. I have changed so many jobs, thinking that the next job will be better. Thinking कि छोटे organization में चले जाएंगे तो I will be into a senior position. Yes, you will become, but the scenario will not change. So when this doesn't change, what happens? Industry data says that when you are in a complaining mode, you actually act at 20% productivity level. Or the more senior you are, the more delay it will happen to get another opportunity. 12 साल का experience है, तो you will take 3 to 5 years of time to get another suitable alternative. So during that 3 to 5 years, you will be acting at 20% or less productivity level. What happens to your potential? It becomes a habit to work at that productivity level. Once it becomes a habit, your potential is gone. So here, whenever you are getting a better job, you know you can do, but you haven't applied yourself all this time. 20% productivity level पे क्या apply किया होगा? What application you would have done? So negative रह के you have ruined your own potential. So, and when that happens, lot of problem happens which are beyond workplace. You blame your workplace, but it is not directly the workplace. Workplace, of course, gets affected. And this market research towards the right side, you say, whenever I spoke to somebody, I wrote down what problem he had. And I have listed them out in this slide. The left side is the professional reasons why people are stuck. Right side is the personal reasons why people are stuck.
Okay.
Now, you from the numbers, sheer numbers, you can see that personal numbers affecting your productivity
more.
This is what my market research has been. And so, now what happens? It has affected your life decisions, your confidence level, learning a new skill नहीं हुआ, consistency is gone. Big vision का तो बात ही छोड़ दो, vision जिसका बड़ा हो वो complain कर ही नहीं सकता. मैनेजिंग टाइम इज ए प्रॉब्लम, कलीग्स के साथ प्रॉब्लम हो गया, कंपटीशन नहीं कर सकते, कॉन्फिडेंस इशू है, वर्क डिसीजन नहीं ले सकते ना, ऑल दिस.
सही बात.
Now, how I qualify to train you? This is Vijay Mahajan, the chairman of Basics, where I work. He is known as the father of microfinance. He is my mentor. And if you read through his appreciation for me, it came only 4 years back. I worked with him since 2008. And just now he had given, तुमको तो कहीं पे रख दो, you can find out a solution. You can find out a way to solve a problem. Not many people can do this. जिस दिन मुझे ये मिला था रवि, I felt like I have won a Nobel Prize. Nobel Prize मुझे किसी दिन मिलेगा ना, I won't feel this happy the day. And coming from such a person, जिसको पता है 2008 में पता है कि 2025 में क्या होने वाला, exactly same thing होते रहा, and everybody thinks कि वो क्या astrologer है क्या, but he knows what happens. No, उस बंदे से आ रहा है मुझे ये appreciation, so he must have seen something. उसने जो कुछ भी किया था वैसे ही करके मैंने वो किया, and he was surprised कि एक जगह जहां पे लड़के तक नहीं जाते. I went there, stayed in the jungle for 4 years, and it was a food scarce pocket of Madhya Pradesh. नक्सल एरिया आप सुनते होंगे, छत्तीसगढ़ के उत्तर में है, and I made that area food sufficient. Not only that, और भी मैं, और आगे जो स्लाइड है उसमें आप देखिएगा कि क्या वहां भी किया. So it came from that person. So I'm very proud, and I'm the same person who couldn't do for 20 years, who couldn't do anything in the job when I had. So, and this is my mentor who told me कि तुम अच्छे से कोच कर सकती हो. This was in the COVID time. He is a very young person. मेरा आधे उम्र के हूँ. But when he saw मैं जो लिख रही थी, he was watching that, and he said कि आप बहुत हाई लेवल की कोचिंग कर सकते हो, मेंटरिंग कर सकते हो, why not do this? You will do a service to me.
Right.
So I am very indebted to him, very obvious.
Right.
This is his mentor, and I have taken his course, and this is the first level I have qualified. So he was interviewing me, and this is the advisor of Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad. This is the mentor of that mentor. So he is my grand mentor. So I am learning from him, and he said, do you teach courage to your people? So मेरे स्कीम में तब तक courage नहीं था. So he said, leadership is all about courage. So teach that. उन्होंने बोला, and this is the slide he framed when he was talking to me. So उतने बड़े इंसान के बगल में बैठ के, so I learned this. So this is why I say that I qualify to teach you, and this is the certification I got. So what do we work towards? Goal है आपका, purpose है आपका, freedom चाहिए आपको, and family के लिए करना है. Then if you have all this in mind, then definitely this kind of training is for you. Now my values are tied edge. What are the values? Why value? Value because this is how my life is guided. This is the purpose compass I can see. Title is tranquility, I is inclusion, D is dignity, A is abundance, which is obviously wealth, L is learning, and J is joy. So these are the 6 values I have. And for this and this package, I have developed a system which I call as Leadership Growth Blueprint. And the tool is Resourceful Influence. The strategies are 4-fold. difference, resilience, influence, and promise. You can call them as DRIP. And AHAP method, which is attitude, habit, action, and perception. And this whole package is leadership growth blueprint. Why I have this blueprint is, anyways, you have to establish your uniqueness. You already are unique, but do you know you are unique? So establish that first. खुद को बोलो कि आप कैसे यूनिक हो. You have to know ना, बाकी सारे लोगों को पता चलने से क्या होगा. So you have to first get convinced about your uniqueness, that difference you need to establish, and you have whatever uniqueness you have got, you have to prove that over and over and over again. That is what resilience will be. That is when people will get to know कि तुम में क्या है. And with that, you will influence people and you will achieve prominence or significance, whatever. And the moment you achieve significance, उस level पे बहुत सारे लोग वैसे ही होंगे of your level. तो ये पूरा खेल फिर से वो difference, resilience, influence and prominence से शुरू होता है. So this game goes on and on and on. Or how would you differentiate yourself easily after that is AHAP method. आपका attitude, habit, action and perception क्या है? The better your mindset is, your emotional intelligence is, the better person you will be, you are, and you will say win over all the competition that you have. And for resourceful influencing, I have a 10P framework. 10P मैं आपको सिखाती हूँ. With that, you can easily focus on with whatever you do, whatever you love to do. So the 3 secrets that I teach is unbeatable USP. जो मैंने अभी थोड़ी देर पहले समझाया कि that differentiates you. Expertise, because you build your resilience and expertise, you establish your resilience. And In-Syncness. The third thing that I say is, it is a mila-jula thing of your expertise, uniqueness, everything, plus a connectedness. आप किसी के साथ झगड़ा करके या फिर conflict mentality रख के, you will not survive as a leader.
Correct.
आप हमेशा ही मैनेजर रह जाओगे फिर. A manager is a very efficient person without heart. A leader is a person with a heart. वो किसी का भी negative point भी होता है तो उसी को positive बना के आगे लेके चला जाता. So are you that person? अगर आप वो person हो तो आपको कोई हरा नहीं सकता. That connectedness you need to serve, and these are the 3 secrets that I teach you.
Right.
और जो भी ये 90% मेरे साथ रहेंगे, I'll have 1-to-1 session because I know everybody is very different. यहाँ पे 50 लोग भी हैं इस कमरे में, and everybody has the same kind of problem, shame, guilt, कुछ भी है. Still, you people are very different. So whoever stays there will get a 1-to-1 session for free for 1 hour.
Okay.
And the strategies, as I call it, is uniqueness, resilience, how to influence people, and connect. These are the 4 strategies. And I promise you a 10-fold, 10x personality version change. And the moment you decide that there is a solution to your problem, अभी तक तो सोचा ही नहीं था कि there is a solution to your problem. The moment you decide that there is a solution to this, your personality becomes a protagonist. And here, a personality makeover happens. First stage. And here you decide who you want to be. ये पहला decision. The second is your personal abilities कुछ भी है. Because the moment I say कि तुम ये बन सकते हो, you are not going to believe me. तो अभी आपके जो abilities है उसी को ले साथ में. And I will build competency stories. Competency story क्या? So the test that you will undergo, it will give you at least 5 strengths. 5 strengths देगा, तो 5 weakness भी देगा. So unless those weaknesses exist, you cannot have those strengths. So I call those weaknesses as altered strengths. So 5 + 5 हो गया. 2 स्किल हर किसी के पास मैंने अब तक देखा है, सो 12 हो गया. एंड 1 एप्टीट्यूड, कुछ तो आपको अच्छा लगता होगा, सो it becomes 13. So if we form a story, we take 1 element from each category. So 4 categories we have taken. 13C4, which means 13 into 12 into 11 into 10. वो 17,000 stories होते हैं. How many do you know? अगर आपको 100 भी पता है, 100 पता होगा नहीं. 100 जिस दिन पता होगा तो उस दिन आप स्टक नहीं रहोगे. You will be a thought magician. So at least 100 story we can work together. जैसे मेरे पास फ्रेमवर्क है, उसमें 2 लाख आपके कॉम्पिटिटिव स्टोरी बन सकते हैं. So the moment you put feed all those strengths, weaknesses and everything, it creates 2 lakh stories for you. Stories क्या वो headline दे देंगे and you can remember. अगर 2 लाख तो आपको instances immediately याद नहीं आएंगे, but over a period of time, if you are becoming very observant about your day, तो आपको हर एक मोमेंट में एक स्टोरी दिखेगा, win-win story दिखेगा. That if you can start jotting down, तो आपको 2 लाख स्टोरी क्या, 4 लाख 15 लाख भी स्टोरी कम पड़ेगी. So that you become at the second stage. The third stage, productivity, of course. Resourcefulness you will learn here, and we call you as a pioneer. Fourth is punctuality, of course, time efficiency. We call you as a crusader. Fifth is team building. उसको power bonding बोल रहे हैं. You will be a cruising captain. Of course, you will know how to build a team, how to manage conflict, how to manage deal with ambiguity. आपका बॉस कुछ बोलता है, बॉस का बॉस कुछ बोलता है, आपका कलीग कुछ बोलता है. How to synchronize and take everybody to the same page. Next is decision making and Pareto formula सीखेंगे. Prioritization. मैं अगर आपको बोलूं कि just focus on one task a day, आप बोलोगे कि दिन में मेरे टू डू लिस्ट में ही 40 काम है. How can you say कि 1 काम मैं ही रखूंगी? So that requires a deep work dynamo. आप बहुत गहराई में नहीं जाओगे आपके काम को एनालाइज करके, then you cannot apply Pareto formula जिसमें 20% काम आपको 80% रिजल्ट देता है. You cannot simply find out. And how do you do that? Is decision making. कौन सा काम करना है और कौन सा काम छोड़ना है. That requires a lot of inner work. That is what I call as deep work dynamo. Next is pattern of response. This is simply about communication. And communication has 3 aspects: style, skill, strategy. When I say communication, you think of English. It is not about English. Suppose I ask you to tell in Hindi. आप हिंदी में बोलो जो भी आपको बोलना. You still cannot say. क्यों? मसाला ही नहीं है सर अंदर, मसाला ही नहीं है, बोलने को कुछ नहीं है, तो इंग्लिश जानने से भी क्या बोलोगे? Correct. So you need to know कि what to say, which audience to say. आपके पास बहुत सारे audiences आते हैं. So here we will learn a template जिसमें आप communicate करो. So first you have to learn and practice with that template. वही बोलना है आपको. Over a period of time, you learn how to speak, communicate without those templates as well. So here we call you as a storyteller. Next is poise. This is about mindfulness, AHAP method, and we call you as a shining significant. Mindfulness is pause. जब भी problem होता है, pause for a moment, you will get your solution. But that is a discipline in itself. So it requires some time. And the ultimate is passion, where you will mentor, collaborate, communicate properly, and you become a game changer. So, and ultimately you become a unicorn, a high value individual achieving significance. So this is the journey that you will go through. And who I am? I am a mathematics postgraduate with 25 plus years of experience. But whatever I have done in my life so far is non-mathematical. And always I have chosen unpublished jobs. कहीं पे published job हुआ है, उसी को apply किया नहीं. I always proven myself before entering the job. USP is resourcefulness, and my mantra is start small और काम करते रहो. So you ultimately will have a Warren Buffett effect. Compounding हो जाएगा वो. But you have to be very consistent and building small all the time. 1% develop improvement over a previous step. And this is my family. इस यहाँ पे मेरी दोनों बेटियां हैं, and this is my extended family. And key patterns in my life: single mother of 2 children, huge responsibility during this time. Professional life got affected because of personal problem during this time. Fast worker, saved budget, but was not proving skill or strategy. That has been my third pattern. Turning point happened when I attended a HR workshop meant for HR professional, and I was never HR trained. So what happened in that workshop? I was required to present a HR policy of my organization, and that time I was working for a very small organization which didn't have any HR policy. And there were participants of very huge organizations also, which had which had HR policy already drafted. So then I drafted HR policy then and there and presented it. So all other participants, they were presenting only the HR policies which are already drafted. Now what I presented was I drafted and presented. So that is when I was automatically selected, recruited for the biggest organization where Vijay Mahajan Saab was working. So got selected with that organization. But after 1.5 years, तभी मेरे दिमाग में आया नहीं था. मेरे दिमाग में तभी तक वो आया नहीं था, रवि, जो मैंने बोला था ना कि वो टिपिंग पॉइंट पहुंचा नहीं था. Because I didn't have that conversation with my husband till that time. So after 1.5 years, actually, I applied in that organization and people remembered me. Right. So, shifted my pattern. क्या change हो गया अचानक से? I was that negative person before joining this organization, and the day I joined this organization, I was given challenging tasks. Right? So I knew that I have a dream bigger than whatever designation I was on. And I was given the task of enumerating 45 lakh women in 2 months' time. 45 lakhs in 29 districts. How did I do? I actually sourced 12,000 volunteers, trained them, and put in 65 camps in across every district had 65 camps in different areas. That is how we completed that task of enumerating 45 lakh women in Rajasthan. I was never been. That was my first time. And everybody was asking, तुमको कैसे खाना मिल जाता है किसी भी गांव में जाती हो? सबने देखा actually. The moment I reached, कभी मुझे मिले नहीं. वो ला के बड़ा सा ग्लास दे दिया छाछ, and then रोटी वोटी ले आए, and everybody said कि कोई कुछ मैजिक करती हो गया तो चेहरा देख के खाना मिला. So I said maybe I am vibing at it. मुझे वो कॉन्फिडेंस है कि I will not go hungry anywhere. Ever. So maybe that was the power with it. मुझे पता नहीं था, but that is what I discovered when people told me कि ऐसे कैसे हो जाता है. The second, I was in Meghalaya. This was in 2008 to 10, when there was the first time the CSC program was getting implemented, and in all the 7 districts, I had to establish 239 common services center. Business plan उनको देना था. मैं घर घर घूम के लोग ये youth को बुला के ट्रेनिंग देती थी. And business plan was the most challenging thing. उनको पैसा कैसे जनरेट. तो ये सेटअप किया नियर बाय द बैंक्स और गवर्नमेंट डिपार्टमेंट, so that they can get some typing work, say, or something, some utility bill payment करके. And nowadays this one CSC in Meghalaya requires 3 to 4 lakh deposit. उस टाइम में घर से बुला के दिया. So I created livelihoods. अभी भी मेरा नाम कोई नहीं ले तो क्या हुआ, but I was instrumental in figuring that. And another काम भी किया था कि मेघालय में जो उबड़ खाबड़ है ना, the irregular terrain, वहां पे आपका ब्रॉडबैंड नहीं काम करता, तो CSC required a connection, network connection, नहीं तो डेटा कैसे अपलोड होगा? Because CSC is that whatever services you come to the capital city, you will get at your doorstep. For that, network, this connectivity is required. So what was the alternative? तो टेलीफोन डिपार्टमेंट में जाके मैंने बोला कि डेटा कार्ड दे दो एंड विसार्ट दे दो. They were surprised कि आपको, are you a technical person? नहीं, टेक्निकल पर्सन नहीं. The requirement is that. That is how I find solution. आपको रिक्वायरमेंट है, करना ही है, तो आपको सोल्यूशन ढूंढना ही होगा, राइट? सो ये दूसरा मेरी लर्निंग कि the moment you are utterly there is a requirement, you will find a solution. So this solution I am. उसके बाद तो टेलीफोन डिपार्टमेंट के जो बड़े बड़े ऑफिसर्स थे दिल्ली जब भी आते थे तो बुलाते थे कि आ जाओ, बोलो फिर और क्या चाहिए तुमको. So अभी तो आप देख लो, अभी तो हमने solution ढूंढ लिया. This is the 1500 people I trained, and then towards the last, after those things were installed, 239 CSCs were installed, I developed a ecotourism plan out there. क्योंकि मेघालय is very beautiful, तो वहाँ भी अगर लोगों को बिना एजुकेट किए एंड एक्स्ट्रा स्किल दिए अगर कुछ करवा सकते हैं तो इकोटूरिज्म was the only alternative. So इकोटूरिज्म वहाँ भी किया, आज तो सभी कोई बहुत करता है. Then I was transferred to Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, where there was a crisis going on in microfinance also. So I learned business analytics that time, and I tracked whatever repayment collection was happening. Then I came to Bandhavgarh Tiger Reserve. आप Google करेंगे तो आपको दिख जाएगा. So this is eastern Madhya Pradesh, and where people were getting killed because it was a tiger reserve, and there was no food. Food was only for 3 months. So people were getting killed. So forest department ने हमको बोला था कि give them an alternative livelihood solution. So I went there, and this is what I was teaching them. I gave them 4 alternatives. First was SRI, system of rice intensification. Second is integrated farming. Third is herbal mustard cultivation, and fourth is herbal cultivation. And these were the illiterate ladies. मैं जब गई थी तो घूंघट करके बात नहीं करते थे. Within 4 years of time, they became the members of the district governing board, which was under the collector. So, illiterate ladies. So my dream was to report to these illiterate ladies as a CEO of the company, जो grassroots based organization था. So the collector used to be very happy with my dream. कि ऐसा dream आज के दिन में कौन रखता है? महात्मा गांधी के जमाने में होता होगा. So these ladies won themselves 17 awards. One award was from CIL, and the award was, I'll tell you, they broke mustard production record of Madhya Pradesh. There, they formed a federation which had 36 lakhs of workers. ये illiterate ladies से हो गया. 4 साल में फूड सफिशिएंसी आ गया. लोग बोलते हैं ना 70 साल हो गए आजादी को, अभी तक भूखमरी नहीं गई हमारे देश. But I could achieve that in 4 years. So what formula I adopted that I can give to anybody and everybody. एक ही चीज मुझे पता है कि one dedicated person to handhold those people is required only. So that is why also I am teaching कि ये अगर mentality रहे, you can have better technology. You can also operate from Delhi to handhold them. कुछ भी कर सकते हैं. But this is possible. And ladies became leaders. And they also won one award from the then Chief Minister of Gujarat, Mr. Narendra Modi. तब थे. So this couldn't have been planned, ना Ravi? So I couldn't have planned कि Chief Minister से award जीतेंगे और वो Chief Minister आगे जाके Prime Minister बनेगा. मैं तो नहीं कर सकती थी. This was from ऊपर वाला, right? How did I achieve that? Because I was doing small things consistent, consolidating, that thereby empowering these people. And these people only achieve. मैं नहीं बोल रही हूँ कि ये prize मुझे मिले, उनको मिले ना.
Right.
And she won this CII award of 1.5 lakh cash because she had a concept कि पूंजी is पूंजी. इनको पता है कि गरीब, the vicious circle of poverty can be escaped if we can form some amount of capital. Right?
Sangeeta, how many
Yes.
more slides you are having now?
There were 400 slides, Ravi.
One. The point is, it is now 9:06.
Yeah.
So I have to go down for a shop which will close at 9:30.
Okay.
So I have to get something. I already paid it. So I have to
हाँ.
just get that delivered. नहीं तो 9:30 बजे वो बंद कर देगा.
अच्छा.
So can we continue from this slide tomorrow later on? Tomorrow evening?
Okay. Done.
So
है.
you just see the slide number. तो
हाँ.
इसके आगे का जो है मैं कल
हाँ.
शाम को वापस ऐसे ही 7:30 बजे बैठेंगे. And we will continue further.
Okay.
I have
Thank
to
you,
go
Ravi.
down and get it now. Sorry to interrupt you,
No issue.
but
No issue.
I'm enjoying it. It's nice. It's nice.
Thank you. वो नहीं हो गए तो अच्छा है. But towards
नहीं, I'm not bored. अभी I have to go down और दुकान बंद हो जाएगा.
ठीक है ठीक.
मुझे लाना है. तो I will go down कल शाम को वापस ऐसे ही जब आप ऑफिस से आओगे 7:30 बजे मुझे कॉल कर देना. I will again join into this thing.
Okay, sure.
यहाँ इस स्लाइड से हम आगे बढ़ेंगे.
ठीक है. Okay. Done.
Thank you.
Okay.
God bless. Thank you so much.
चले जाएं. हाँ. Okay. मुन्ना, ए मुन्ना. अच्छा देखिए ऐसा बोलो सब ना ऐसा थोड़ी आपको एक फोटो भी मुझसे का Cara, não tem que fazer. Tá? Não deu. Tá justa? E eu fiz. Cara, ele não tem nada a ser. Grace foi lá. Por aí, que assim, não. मैम मुझे गैस देखते हैं रोटी आसी लगी देखिए तो बस तुम्हें पाठ पढ़ेगी चलो चलो क्लास में ना कौन है क्लास में क्या नाम So I want to tell you that I am Sangita. The career is Sangita and ever expanding Sangita with resourcefulness, with resourceful thinking, sync with design synergy. अब जितने प्रकार भारी वर्ड and absolutely sympathetically put it, heartily put to lead to you. So soy pot have not had. As had of pretty. Good night, Cora. Sugu, good night, Cora. That's it. Diva chalo. चलो चलो कोई भी नहीं चलो 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 चले रेडी है चलो चलो क्यों मार मुझे बहुत नहीं हूँ चल चल
One.
take care of yourselves. So with a bunch of love, pause, take care of yourselves. First thing is much fun. Therefore, there's some of the problem. Why the law of attraction is not. As ample for a way to get better results. Here's an avenue. Starts with another thing. Such dark. Let's see if you wait. Is what did you think?
This is from the book of Mr. Thaddeus Lawrence, whom I admire the most. The book's name is Runway Success, and the complete name is Life Lessons from Ultra Endurance Racing. So since long, I have been admiring Mr. Thaddeus Lawrence, and today I'll be reading his book. This book I got because I attended I have attended 3 of his programs, and today I discovered this book. So I'll be reading. Purpose of Pursuit. Strength of character, depth of resilience, and imperviousness to pain. These will all serve you well. But those lining up to start each ultra endurance race will need something extra if we really want to succeed. Willpower, We must have the compelling desire. We have to want it. The four deserts events organized by racing the planet combine a rugged physical and mental challenge with a rich cultural experience. The series, named by Time magazine as one of the world's top 10 endurance competitions, takes place in the Sahara in Egypt, Gobi in China, Atacama in Chile, and the polar desert of Antarctica. The task is straightforward, and it sounds like an absolute nightmare. Pay a few $1,000s to get dropped in the middle of a desert where, for over 6 consecutive days, participants have to run, walk, or crawl 250 kilometers. Then repeat it in a different desert. Make no doubt about it. Each race is extreme. In the hot deserts, the temperature is cranked up to a vindicated 51 degrees Celsius. In Antarctica, it will plummet to a bone-rattling minus 15 degrees Celsius. There are no in-betweens. Either it is very hot or very cold. Either way, it can be life-devouring, too hot, and we risk heat stroke and sunstroke. Too cold and hypothermia and frostbite come knocking on our door. The race takes place across soft sand and deep snow, over hard-packed gravel and slippery sheets of ice, up powdery sand dunes and down rocky hills. Why I'm reading this? I'm reading this because I know some challenges are there, which is extreme, and I am not able to see a way through, a breakthrough. So what action should I take? What is the ultimate endurance that I need to undertake so that I can break through the glass ceiling? It is only a glass ceiling, as you see. So what is this glass ceiling is doing to my result? That is why I'm reading, and today is 22nd of March 2023, and I'm hoping to break through this glass ceiling by 2025 in 10,000 times bigger. I'll be a millionaire, I'll be a billionaire, and I'll be creating a $1 billion enterprise in each of the country, 139 countries that I am dreaming to work across, and each country will have a $1 billion enterprise. That is a tough endurance, and right now I don't have any clue as to how to achieve that. But this is the dream I declare to the universe, and I let go that the universe will take care. The distance for each of the first 4 stages goes up to 45 kilometers. On the 5th day, possibly to break the monotony, or probably to throw in an added challenge, or most likely to exercise their sadistic tendencies, the organizers throw in a long stage. This stage can vary anywhere between 80 and 100 kilometers, and is where the word ultra endurance comes into play. Here is where we come of age as a desert racer. As we stand on the start line of this stage, we would have already run the cumulative length of 4 standard marathons in as many days. Our muscles are screaming in pain, our joints are on fire, and we are suffering a combination of skin chaffing blisters, dehydration, diarrhea, weight loss, and heat exhaustion. It is up to the participants how we tackle the course, as long as we propel ourselves forward on foot only. The weather, distance, terrain, and our own strength and weaknesses affect the tactical decisions, which in turn can have huge ramifications. We are also self-supported. This means we carry all our food, clothing, sleeping gear, personal items, survival kit, medical supplies, and other mandatory equipments for the entire week. Everything we need to survive is carried in a pack on our back. The only luxuries provided are a space in a tent to sleep in, a campfire at night, and drinking water at roughly 10 kilometers interval checkpoints. The entire pack weighs anywhere between 6 and 17 kilograms, depending on our packing ability and creature comfort needs. Needless to say, there are no showers. So why? Why risk life and live in searing heat, debilitating dehydration, and acute physical discomfort? Why on the gauntlet of sheer pain and torture? There is no race prize, no pot of gold to be won, no flashing balls from warning photographers, nothing tangible beyond a medal that all finishers receive. Winners earn neither fame nor fortune in an activity that would send the adrenaline seeking sports fan into slumber. What sort of person is drawn to a race costing a small fortune in fees and demanding hundreds of hours in training? Are we a distinctive breed of individuals, or are we simply self glorified narcissists? The appeal of some of the world's most isolated and stunning environments is exactly that. Their breathtaking beauty draws plucky travelers hungry for a rare glimpse of little known panoramas that and off the beaten track holiday privileges. At the same time, budding explorers are so long visiting out of the way areas, not in the travel brochure. The innumerable travel difficulties making the trip a worthwhile reward in itself. This is the antithesis to the norm in travel, a journey filled with perfect moments, unchoreographed and real. It promises to avoid the superficial by keeping the experience natural, unique, and honest. The whole experience is a cycle of emotions, mystification, anticipation, celebration, and nostalgia are placed in between fear, pain, capitulation, and despair. It is like teetering atop the world's highest roller coaster. The sense of complete surrender is intoxicating, delirious, and alive. But traveling through these places, while extremely gratifying, is also a highly hazardous affair. Throw in an arduous ordeal like a multi-day ultra marathon, and we have the right mix of disaster. A powerful appeal is the pride and personal fulfillment associated with the achievement of a difficult athletic objective while exposing oneself to potential injury, death, or ridicule. When our bodies and minds are stretched to their limits in a voluntary effort to accomplish something hard and worthwhile, and we succeed, the reward is immense. Here is a sport that goes beyond mere thrill seeking. This is an activity where you are pushed to your absolute maximum. To challenge yourself over a grueling course of time, to be fully independent and wholly accountable for yourself, to relish the uncertainty of each moment, to have the autonomy of making your own decisions that make the difference between success and collapse. The draw is irresistible. The game is big and is radical. It is extreme because the consequences for failure are high. This is what life is about. It took a firm hold of me and reeled me into its bosom. Once every so often, we are bowled over by stories of those who overcome the odds. A sportsman or woman shatters a previously unbreakable record. An individual defies the traditional success template to turn rags to riches. Another flouts conventional thinking to transform a hopeless situation into a challenge to look forward to. Through news articles, television, documentaries, and personal anecdotes, I hear of these champions in life and am in full awe and admiration. This fascination with the strength of the human spirit of overcoming and triumphing over the odds led to my ultra racing as a platform for some self-discovery. Question after question swamped my head. Did I have it in me to accept such an undertaking? Did I have the grit to exert myself this way? How would I cope under such punishing conditions? How would I respond to the myriad of trials and tribulations? Will my resilience and strength of character carry me to the end? Where did my limitations lie? What was my potential? Could I do it? Extreme racing emerged out of this curiosity. Imagine the scene at a 100-meter sprint event. Runners take their crouched positions in the starting blocks. The finishing tape flutters gently ahead. The lanes mark the straight track. A starter gives the commands of on your mark, set, and then fires a gun. The runners burst forth a blur of power and strength, arms swinging vigorously and legs stretching into running stripes. In a matter of seconds, it is all over. Bodies charge across the finish line and quickly decelerate to a stop. That is not life. Life is not a sprint. Rather, life is a multi-day ultra-endurance race where the goals and dreams span weeks, months, and even years from conception to realization. Often, we are unable to see the finish line or even know what it might look like. Getting there is hardly ever straightforward or unobstructed. The journey of life is one full of twists and turns that throw up all manner of obstacles, challenges, and setbacks. Possession of physical prowess and hard skills is insufficient for success. We need to pack an indomitable fortitude or emotional resilience and mental fitness. A desert race then seems to me the perfect microcosm life. Regardless of what happens each day, participants need to get up the next and perform the same exacting task all over again. Each day, we need to get stronger and better. The race continues regardless of our mood or how we feel. The route is uncharted and we have no idea of what lies around the corner. The starting state is clarity of purpose. Absolute Cherry Garrett, one of the youngest members of British explorer Captain Scott's last expedition to the Antarctica in 1910, said, "There are many regions which send men to the poles, but the desire for knowledge for its own sake is the one which really counts. Exploration is the physical expression of the intellectual passion. If you have the desire for knowledge and the power to give it physical expression, go out and explore." Like Cherry Garrard, I embarked on my adventure in the name of exploration. Unlike Cherry Garrard, my exploration was not so much in scientific or adventurous pursuits, but in the search of understanding oneself, a bid to discover where my inner limits lie. There would be no better place to do so than a full immersion in some of the most formidable and inhospitable yet spectacular and stunning landscape. The Four Deserts Race series offers an ideal channel for some serious self-exploration in a holiday with a difference. If I have a good time and fun, it would be a bonus, but I have come to surrender to my attraction of the unknown and to see how I would go in pushing my physical boundaries and exploring the edges of my mental envelope. I sought, in the words of former marathon runner Frank Mayer, an epiphany, a spiritual flash, and that would change the way I viewed myself. This race will be the any plus ultra of self discovery. However, the process is not necessarily one dimensional. Almost half of all competitors chose to champion causes when racing. I used the opportunity to raise funds for different children's charities. But as much as I helped them, they helped me, especially during the low points when it is easiest to give up. I ask myself what I would tell them upon my return. That is usually enough to encourage me to carry on. Thinking about my beneficiaries lends a broader take on life. The thought of their own daily ultra endurance races takes the pain and suffering from myself. They give me the energy to continue moving forward because I am not only doing it for myself but for them. My accountability to them makes the whole adventure much more meaningful. Racing on foot in a harsh and hostile environment is an activity that is the subject of intense competition. Unlike conventional sports, however, this competition takes on a different dimension. Such events attract highly driven people and high achievers in business, sport, and life. Proudly bearing their national flags on their sleeves, this is a cultural gathering of sorts. In many United Nations, where competitors, volunteers, and staff hail from some 30 countries. There is an air of mutual respect at all, as all differences melt behind the high-tech clothing, and a shared mission unifies everyone. Instead of a dog-eat-dog, win-lose world, I found a community. And I found that my own success lay in the gift of the support and fellowship of these people. This network of people extend to those not physically on site. Coming into camp each evening is sheer joy, not just because it signifies the completion of a stage and I get to put my bone tired feet up, but it offers the chance to be in contact with the outside world. A media tent is specially set up for competitors to read messages sent each day by loved ones at home, and it is there I would sit every night, bent over the tiny laptop, poring over the messages, and lapping off every single word. These communications of encouragement, inspiration, and amazement from well-wishers, supporters, friends, and family never fail to lift my spirits. It is immensely heartening to know that there are people halfway around the world who had me in their thoughts while I was traipsing through the desert. While the food and drink for my body, these messages nourished my heart and mind. In running, hitting the wall, a metaphor for glycogen depletion in muscles. Runners basically run out of energy, body and mind collapse, and we find ourselves struggling for strength and motivation. Many are forced to quit the race entirely. Lasting the distance requires that we pace ourselves. At its essence, an ultra is a series of questions. Do I eat now or wait? Shall I take a short rest or a longer break? Should I speed up or ease up? Overstraining on one day can lead to subpar, if not disastrous results the next. Taking it too slowly and missing the cutoff time leads to disqualification. Simply going with the flow and seeing what happens would be too careless an approach. Extreme distance magnifies every little decision, and one wrong one can potentially ruin the whole race. There is a common saying that the race is not won on the first day, but can be lost on the first day. Those of us who need to heed these words of wisdom would do well by curtailing our inner tendency to burst forth from the blocks. We keep the bigger picture of the race in our conscious brain and break the days up into short-term objectives of stages and checkpoints. Reaching these small milestones keeps us, our spirits up and fills them with the energy needed for the long haul. Through proper pacing, we preserve the maxim that the winner in an ultra is not the one who runs the fastest, but who can slow down the least. The decisions made reflect the competitor's readiness. Any event of such a magnitude starts with a compelling desire and then with the action of preparation. We need to know what we are getting into. These are sacrifices to be made, concessions on family time, and trade-offs with sleep. Moments with our nearest endurance will drop. Leisure time will come to an end. Tracksuits will be dusted of fortunes will be spent on heat. Risk management is all about understanding ourselves, how much we are willing to give and put on the line. This calls for greater attention to detail. On a physical level, we need to know our bodies, track the changing signs to understand what it is saying and what it means. This then determines the training strategy. In a short sprint, your power and solid strength are vital. A marathon calls for superior fitness and physical strength. Ultra endurance racing requires something else from the racers. We need mind control and mental steadiness to withstand the twin demons of fatigue and failure. Much of the long distance peopleship consists of training to improve endurance and resilience, but we can never be fully ready if our mind tells us otherwise. Sometimes we just need to foster a strong sense of perspective. In honoring Roger Bannister's 4-minute mile achievements, it is perhaps more noteworthy that just weeks later, his record was broken. Since then, the sub-4-minute mile was repeated all around the world. What was once just to be an impossible barrier was truly insomuch as it existed in the mind. As Roger Bannister put it in an interview, there was a mistake, a belief that it couldn't be done. But I think it was more of a physiological barrier than a physical barrier. Psychological barrier than a physical barrier. When he breached the barrier, he did it for everyone else, allowing others to emulate his feat. Many people have been conditioned with thoughts of what cannot be done. This conditioning results in an approach to life that can best be described as pessimistic. The focus becomes on what cannot be done instead of a positive expectancy of exploring how it can be done. What was my recipe for completing 250 kilometers in the desert? The standard fitness test in Singapore comprises a 2.4 kilometers run, which typically takes an average of 10 minutes. All there is to a desert run, then is to do 10 fitness runs. Then do the entire lot 10 times plus another 10 kilometers. The good news is I have an entire week to round off everything. Emil Jatubek, a Czech long distance runner best known for winning 3 gold medals in the marathon, 10,000 and 5,000 meter races at the 1952 Summer Olympics in Helsinki said, if you want to win something, run 100 meters. If you want to experience something, run a mile. I would add that you want to experience life, run a multi-day ultra endurance race. How we tackle the race is how we lead our lives. To take full advantage of this opportunity for inner realization is to participate fully. The task is uncomplicated. In fact, it is a simplification at its best. Set in an isolated landscape, an event planned home, place home to men and women, taking a silent break from urban life. We have everything we need. There are no phones, no emails, no work, no children to distract us. Our energy is usually occupied with what happened in the past or might happen in the future. Are freed. We are free. The more we commit our energies to the undertaking, the more we will benefit, and the deeper the harmony we will have with each moment. All that matters is the now. As much as routine is a challenge, it is a big part of ultra racing. In fact, the practice of race rituals is constantly being fine-tuned. Pre-race preparation is well rehearsed as eating, dressing, and warming up take on a familiar quality. Race approach is a tried and tested activity of outstanding habits to hydrate, relax, and self-effort. Post-race rest and recovery is a standard operating system. These race rituals serve a practical purpose and focus one's attention. They are the perfect blend of concentration and calmness, power and peace. It is a game of millimeters, just like holding a butterfly in your hand, clasp too loosely and it will fly away. Grasp too tightly and it will crush and kill it. Such is the extremity of what we are attempting, that an ordinary mistake of little consequence in everyday life takes an disproportionate significance. Every step, however small, is therefore a building block that serves as a foundation for something else. This conscious pursuit of growth and discovery is a gift. This is the essence of discipline, not pain or pressure, but learning and illuminating. There is a joke among ultra racers that it will fall face down. We are still moving forward. This leads to a victory that is priceless and priceless. When all said and done, the true reward of journeys traversed, coming through struggle against circumstance, fights against self-doubt, wrestling with dark thoughts, silencing the crying voices within, persevering through harsh conditions, and a shared intimate experience. It is a pilgrimage. At the start of this phase, we come from around the world, drawn by our personal motivations, but all are attracted by what this race represents for us, by the promise that here we will find our own meaning. A week later, we scatter back around the globe to our lives, where we all continue to use the lessons we have learned with a new philosophy, clutching our cherished memories to become a better person. We will shape the future of the enchanting and complex things we call our life. My own adventure and education starts here. The 4 deserts proved an excellent training ground. Surely, if we could put ourselves through such a test, nothing in life can stop us. Everything could be possible. At the very least, the event provided a fitting platform to demonstrate that anything is possible in our lives once we put our minds to it. Carpe diem. Seize the day. Live a life of excellence, and in so doing, make a difference to ourselves and to the lives of others. And at the end of it all, we all have experienced something unique and special. It is an experience that I would not have missed for the world. To quote Captain Scott, I should have had a tale to tell of the hardihood, endurance and courage of my companions, which would have stirred the heart of every man. Ultra racing was life-changing for me. I hope it can be for you too. That was the prologue and the gist of whatever we are trying to do. Let me close this and I tell you, in whatever way you have experienced or experiencing or looking towards to achieve, it all requires extra endurance. And right now, what endurance you are enduring, it actually tells a lot about what kind of person you are. Where you are stuck, what will make you go through? Are you the person who has explored it all? Don't you think that once we go through such impossible thing without any meaning, but with an expectation to achieve something, to win over something else within ourselves, we'll make a great story, make a big thing about our endurance. Right now, nobody appreciating you, nobody knows you always, nobody can understand or sympathize the way you are. Does it matter? It needs to be appreciated and approved and established just for once, right? Once it is done, you are a person who is very different. And everybody will appreciate even though they don't understand all the hardship that you have undergone. And but who you become, it doesn't matter what others will think. You will become the person you always dreamt of, right? Isn't it so? So this is, with this, we are starting to read this, and I think it will be a great read to help others gain better. Thank you, and that was the end of prologue. The chapter 1 will start from